Jenny Vitek. She's going to talk a little about her art. She just told me that her art calls her name. So, well, it's a calling, right?
It is a calling. If it doesn't give me joy at this point in my life, I kind of don't have the time and the energy for it. And I'm really wanting to generate joy for myself and for others too. And I found that open water swimming, which is what I do year round, gives me joy. I'm one of those crazy people that plunges in December and January and February. And my artwork tends to gravitate towards the beach and towards water and that landscape of the dunes and seagrasses and creatures of the water. My current pieces that I have in the show both have to do with water. The show is How to Live on an Island, which I realized I have to be close to water.
You're fortunate to realize what you have to do or what you can do or what brings you joy. I think a lot of people don't quite know. If they're called to hear something, I'm not sure they can actually listen to that voice. Is it a voice within?
It's a knowing. It's not a voice, it's just a knowing. And for example, today was a rough morning, and I knew I needed to get into the water to release the stress, the tension, the pent-up emotion that was happening this morning. And I went in and I plunged in the water, and it was cold, and it was wonderful, and it was fresh and refreshing, and it was the release that I needed to come back out of the water, dry off, and say, now I'm ready for the rest of my day.
Right. It's good to be able to do that.
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
I write in my journal every day, and then I delete it. I read it, and I go, that's enough of that. Kind of, I put on
another
my
way
list.
of release.
Right. And then I do my day. So I think people have different ways. I love the way that you plunge into the water. I think that takes a lot. I would not be able to do it. How cold is the coldest
Well,
water?
it's actually warming up now. The water's about 50 degrees. In December, it was down to about 39, 38 degrees, which is really kind of bracing.
Yes, I would say so. Do other people do this with you?
Oh, yeah. There's a whole group here on Staten Island called the Swimmers of Anarchy. And there are open water swimming groups worldwide. In England, there's a group called and I'm not going to know what their town is, but they're the Blue Tits, and it has nothing to do with cold breasts. It's the birders. And there are Blue Tits all around the globe. There are open water swimmers in Coney Island and Brighton Beach. They're all around. There are those crazy enough to get in the water in, December, January, February, March.
Right. Well, it doesn't sound crazy to me. It actually sounds great. I feel like I would come to the beach and stick my feet in. That's not enough. But yeah, I think I could manage that. I wanted to know, you were saying before that you gave away your mosaics and you gave away your felt work, and other artists are enjoying working with these
with the materials, yeah.
Right. So now you're painting and you're doing printmaking. How much time do you have every day to devote to that?
It really depends. And it's not even an everyday practice, although it ought to be. Thoughts definitely are every day about it. The practice, actually my studio's now been repurposed for a temporary time. So the practice it's kind of an as needed when things get built up inside, very much like when I need to go plunge. Things get built up inside, ideas and the need to get in with my materials. I need the tactile
Yes.
sensation of working with my materials, printmaking, and getting in with my color. I work with the Akua inks, so the inks are very fluid and highly pigmented, and the need to play with my art builds up, and where I have to do it. I can do it at work, which I'm pretty lucky about. I work at Art Lab, or I can get in and just set my materials out and just work on all different kinds of things at once, and work on 6, 7 paintings or drawings at the same time. And
would it be possible to come to your studio and watch you work?
When I have my studio back, yes. But yeah, that would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. Because it's just like a kid playing with toys. I have all my colors and all different kinds of oil pigments and the inks and the pen markers and all different kinds of stuff.
It sounds like I might like to do that, although it'd probably be hard for me because I don't draw. So do you have a background in drawing?
Oh, I have a BFA from Cleveland Institute of Art, where when I went there was a 5-year school. Now it's 4. But the 5 years gave me 2 years of solid foundation work, which was really great. We had to draw, we had to sculpt, we had to paint. So you had to learn the rules, you had to learn how to use the materials before you went off on your own. And I've done life drawing for many, many years. And keeping my hand in drawing. I usually carry a sketchbook around where I'll sit wherever I am and I'll start doing some small sketches that don't get shown to anyone but me, and that keeps my eye and my hand coordinated.
And here are Jenny's paintings that were hanging on the wall at the Art on the Terrace Gallery when we did the interview. And Jenny, you said at the beginning of the interview, you do what brings you joy. And your interview has brought me a lot of joy. And I thank you so, so much. This is Rhoda Pierce for the Storytellers Lounge. Thanks so much for watching. This has been our interview with Jenny Vitek. Stay tuned for more interviews, and please subscribe and comment. Thank you.